So we've talked a little about the Cartesian plane and plotting points. Let's talk just a little about plotting equations. The equations that we are going to look at in particular all have a specific form. Y by itself on the left and on the right, something involving x. So, for example, y equals 2x minus 7, or y equals x divided by x squared plus 4, or y equals whatever. But y by itself on the left are x's over here on the right. So how you plot these equations kind of varies from case to case. As we progress through this course, we learn to plot certain types of equations. So y equals 2x plus 7. I believe the very next section we're going to do, section 2.2, we'll learn that this equation has the form of a straight line and looks something like this. We'll just recognize the form of this equation and be able to graph it. But we can't always do that. So we can't just look at this second equation and immediately know what its graph is. Really, for most plotting, I use a calculator or some other form of computer assistance. There are textbooks that get very snotty about that kind of thing. You know, you must be able to do everything by hand. But I think that's foolish, frankly. So let's show graphing on your calculator. Let me just jot. Oh, I have jotted down what this equation we're going to graph is. And let me now share. Let me try to find my, here we go, my calculator. So this is online emulation. I uploaded a file from my calculator to do this. It should be all legal and above board. And you see y equals in the upper left. That's the graphing button. So we'll press it. And now we're going to enter the equation we want to graph here. So on the left, you see y equals, y sub 1 equals. On the right, you see this empty space. And whatever our variable is, in this case, it's x, that's our variable button. So we'll use this to create our variable. And when we graph, we have to be careful because your calculator will scrupulously follow order of operations. So suppose we type x divided by x squared plus 4. We have made a mistake. Let me go back to remind you what we are trying to graph. We're trying to graph this. And what we entered into our calculator was this. And our calculator will follow the order of operations. And the order of operations says division comes first. That's not what's supposed to be happening here, though. This addition comes first. We do the addition, then we divide x by this sum. So you have to be really scrupulous. Let me get back to our calculator. You have to be really scrupulous with your parentheses here. You see these parentheses buttons. Grouping will come before division. So if we put parentheses around the x squared plus 4, that will make our calculator do the addition first. Once we've entered this correctly, we press the graph button. Now, we can't see a heck of a lot here. There are a few ways we could try to fix this with the window button or with the zoom button. So what's the problem with this graph? Well, y goes between -10 and +10 by default, but the interesting stuff is all happening near 0. There's nothing up here or down here that's worth looking at. Our graph is filled with empty space. So maybe we'll go to the window menu. We press the window button. And we'll change y minimum and y maximum. Let's change y minimum to -2. And here's an error that a lot of people make. We're so used to thinking of subtraction and negation as being basically the same thing. But that didn't do anything. We're lucky it didn't spit out an error message. For a negative sign, we need this button down here. And that worked. Back to window, let's let our maximum be +2. And now you can see a little more clearly what's happening with this graph. Another thing we could have tried if we'd pressed the zoom button was to scroll down to zoom fit. And I never seem to have much luck with zoom fit, but what it's supposed to do is look at the graph and decide on its own what the viewing window should be. Press enter. And we got to this zoom. You see it tightened the window a bit. Nothing interesting was happening above 1, so zoom fit just got rid of all the stuff above 1. Likewise, nothing interesting was happening below -1, so zoom fit just got rid of everything below -1. I don't know what algorithm our calculator uses with zoom fit to decide what is or isn't interesting. I always seem to have bad luck with it, but some of my colleagues swear by it. But whether you use zoom fit or adjust the window manually, you might have to mess around with the window, mess around with the window to get anything you can make sense out of. Remember, our default zoom was this, and we just couldn't see anything.